Hello and a very good afternoon, good morning. Welcome back to Crafters TV. My name is Ben Moseby. Thank you for joining me once again. It is my fourth and final day of week 2. I'm a little bit sad really because I've really enjoyed all of the fun and frolics that we've had with our sweet 16th birthday. My final day, but don't forget you've still got another 2 days to come after today as all of these amazing deals continue. We are here on a launch day, but before we get into that, if you haven't been with us or you need reminding, now is the time to be shopping. It's our most popular time of the year to shop, and I'll tell you for why. We are going to be bringing you double points right through until the end of play on Sunday. If you're not yet a Club Inspire member, please, for goodness sake, make sure you join up. It will take you 2 minutes on our website, crafterscompanion.com.co.uk or .eu. Once you're joined up, of course, you'll get your 250 points to get you started. You'll get 20% off your first order. And then, of course, you can start earning all of these points. And double points will see you very quickly get through all of the levels so that you can start getting 20% off all of your orders. Now, if you're shopping here with us in the UK, you're going to get free delivery up until the end of play on Sunday too. So again, plenty of reasons to shop, plenty of reasons to buy. And by the way, talking about the website, whilst you're there, make sure you have a good look because again, we're doing literally the best deals that we do. 3 for 2s on things like your plates, things like your glue, your paper and card, your tools, all of these things that you need to stock up on. Now is the time to buy. We've even got 3 for 2 on Totally Tiffany goodies as well. And can I just, and I know I keep going on about this like a broken record, but if you are somebody who is looking to buy their first machine, maybe you're looking to size up, maybe you're looking to get a manual machine, whether it be the Mini that you're looking for, which we're doing a brilliant deal on, or indeed right at the other end of the spectrum, the Gemini Pro, 25% off the price currently. You need to make sure that you get your machines bought before the end of play Sunday. It's the best time of the year to buy yourself the machines, the best deals that we do, bar none. Now, on top of that, when you shop with us, we're also putting extra stuff into your basket. If you're shopping on the website, you go, hang on a minute, I didn't put that in there. We're putting in freebies for you. We're putting in freebies. Today's £10, $10 free gift is different. It is the Anemone Swirls embossing folder. Beautiful florals, which funnily enough will go very nicely with our launch day product today. So that goes in there automatically. All right, if you spend over £50 or $50, you'll get that free gift plus the exclusive Crafters Purple Tri-Blend Brush. How many of those have you collected over the last 10 days? And on top of that, if you spend £100 or $100, both those items plus that very nice little Crafters tool bag will be popped into your basket as well. That's not all. Because during the shows, we're also giving you the opportunity to win prizes. Yeah, and what do you have to do? It's very complicated. You just have to send us a comment. So if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, do what you usually do. Say hello, ask a question, let us know what you're shopping for, send us a general observation, whatever it might be, just say hello and you'll be automatically entered into the draw, which we're going to do 2 of in this show, 2 prizes to give away. And of course, if you win a prize in this show, you'll go through to the grand final show on Sunday where somebody will win this grand prize, a Gemini Pro with all of the trimmings. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. This has literally been the best birthday event ever. But, I know what you're saying. You're saying to me, well, this has been a great birthday event. I've got all of the goodies and you did all these great deals and double points and we're seeing all of our favourite demonstrators. But there's one person we haven't seen yet. There's one person we haven't got to see during this event. And that's Jan, isn't it? I know what you're saying. Jan, where's Jan? Well, I can tell you, she's finally here. It's the lovely Jan Brown. Oh, we're so glad to have you with us, Jan.
Oh, honestly, I've been actually sort of sat waiting all week, sort of release me. Been watching at home, and a lady actually messaged me the other day to say that we've not seen you on birthday week, but I'm here. I'm here today, and I'm here tomorrow as well. So you've got me for a couple of days, and I can't wait to actually introduce this one for you. We knew this was coming. I've been sort of anticipating it, but 3D folders at their very best. Who doesn't love botanicals? You know, we've got a whole range of different flowers. I know my favourites in there. I bet let us know what your favourite flowers are, see if we've covered them on the embossing folders. But we've got a really nice selection of everyday 3D botanical folders, and we were just talking, Ben and I, before the show, said these are never going to date. You know, it's something that you can buy and use for pretty much any occasion, depending on how you colour them or what mediums you use on them. I'm going to try and go through as many different ideas as I can during the show, but we thought just at the top we'll show you what's actually involved, and then Ben will go through the product in a little bit more detail for you. So a range of different floral scenes then, and these are 3D, so I will emphasise that because it doesn't show when we see it on the camera as much, but the actual depth of the embossing on these is phenomenal. So cherry blossom there, which has got to be one of my favourites. It's not the most favourite one that, as far as flowers are concerned, but the folder, I think this one's absolutely stunning. So you can just see there it's been used with some of our ink in the background there, and as I say, we're going to try and show you as many different versions as I can. Then you've got the dahlia there. So again, that one's all been done in the purples and the greens, but absolutely beautiful. And as I say, it doesn't really do testimony to them with the level of embossing. I'll try and show you that as we go through. Now then, this one has to be one of my favourite flowers. Who doesn't love a gerbera?
Oh yes.
I really do like these as a flower. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So again, you know, however you want to colour them up, whatever mediums you want to use, whether they're our Spectrum Noir range, I know a lot of you bought into the Cosmic Shimmer products, they will work as well. Then we've got the hellebores there. So again, back to that purple on that one, but really, really stunning. They don't need much more than a sentiment like we've got on the side there. And you've got your card done there. We've got peonies again, which is another one on my list. I love the peonies, absolutely beautiful. So again, just done with those inks. Traditional roses there, you know, everybody loves a red rose, very romantic sort of connotations there. We've got the sunflowers in there as well, absolutely stunning. And then finally, we've got tulips on that list as well. So a real nice collection of a range of different flowers for you to have a play with. And as I say, we're going to try and cover as many different techniques as we can fit in this afternoon, Ben.
And I cannot wait, because obviously I've had a sneaky peek to see what, you know, Jan's got coming up. You know, when the headmistress of craft is in the building, you're going to see something super special. She's going to take us on a bit of a crafting journey with these embossing folders, and you're going to absolutely love all of the inspiration coming your way. These are phenomenal 3D embossing folders. If you've just seen a snapshot of, this is the full collection, and actually the deal on this today is so good. It basically works out that you're getting all 8 of these, but you're saving, what, 25%, aren't you? So it works out that you're getting 2 of them for free. If you're a platinum member, it comes down even lower for you, £33.55 or $42.96. Just such a lovely way to get into your card making. The fact that they're 3D as well. And again, you think about how many times you're going to be using flowers within your projects. It's just a beautiful all year round collection. And not just all year, it's going to come back each and every year as well. You will just have this collection by your side, ready to go once you've got it home. But make sure you get it home, because we are already super busy for this collection. And lots of you already telling me that you've either bought it or you've got your eye on it. Who's joining the party this afternoon? Clyden is in from Arizona. Samantha joins us from North Georgia. Lynn Harvey's here. Georgianne's in. Penny Lowe is in. Glennis is in from Ohio. And Diane also joins us too. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what you're excited about. And of course, if you do comment during the show, we will give you the opportunity to win prizes as we go. But let's fire away and get cracking. I'll go through the boards with you in more detail in just a little bit, but we want to see these in action, please, Jan.
Right, so when I was planning out the prep for the show, then I thought we'd start off quite simple, because I know there's a lot of new crafters out there, and with an embossing folder you don't need to do much more than emboss, maybe add a little bit of colour, add a sentiment, job's done. So I thought we'd start off quite simple, and then as the show, if you can stay with us for the whole show, I'm actually going to progress sort of through to a few more different techniques as we go through the show. So one of the traditional techniques that everybody loves with a good embossing folder is the old gilding wax. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways today. We've got gilding wax on the show, so I'm going to show you a little bit with the gilding wax, and I'm also going to bring in our metallic ink pads as well. So I'll show you a little bit of both, and you can decide, you know, which sort of they give a very, very similar effect. And I've got the antique gold as far as the gilding wax is concerned, and bronze for the Midas ink. So as I say, very similar effect, but I thought we'd go with those just to give you an idea. And as I say, it doesn't need much more than that as regards to a card. So we're going to start off dahlias, dahlias, however you want to pronounce them. I think here we call them dahlias.
Dahlia, that's what I call it.
I have heard some people refer to them as dahlias. So again, apologise if that's your
potato.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So when we take these out, then you've got the traditional size 5x7 3D embossing folder, and I'm going to keep emphasizing that 3D element. And you can see there, just looking at the folder itself, it's got that phenomenal sort of sculpting that we're used to. If I just put the black under there, you'll be able to see that even better, look. So the difference between an ordinary 2D folder and your 3D is that you get these areas that are sculpted, as opposed to your background embossing, which is sort of almost a little bit flatter. So there are different levels of embossing goes on, and if I show you inside the folder here, you can see that a little bit better. So when we look inside here, put it back on the card, you can see that there are real definite sort of good ridges in here that are going to allow that nice deep emboss. Now if you're using a Gemini, then obviously I'm going to talk about the plates as well, because the 3D folders are thicker than a normal, what we tend to refer to as a 2D folder. So you do need to change your plates out to avoid damaging your Gemini. If you're using an other brand machine, they will still work absolutely fine, but you might need to just play around with the different shims that you use to get the right pressure for it. So on our Gemini, I'm just going to take, and I've got my junior plates here because these will fit perfectly in here, although I've got my large Gemini out, as you know, that's my sort of preferred way. So I'm going to use one of the base cutting plates. I'm going to use my magnetic shim just to build up the right depth, and then I've cut a piece of our matte black card to fit inside here, and just double check, you'll find that one side's got the image raised and the other side's got the image recessed. So I'm going to cover the raised side, and if you'd got a paper that had a predominant side, you want to be able to look at that side over that raised image, because the machine's pressure is going to allow this to then push through your card and raise it on the front here. So if this was Centura Pearl, for example, you'd want the coloured pearl side facing you so that it shows on top of there. The black obviously is the same on both sides, so it doesn't really matter which way around we go. So I'm just going to trap that in my folder nicely and then lay that on here, and then we're just going to use our plastic frosted shim as the top. I'm going to omit that second glass cutting plate. This is your optimum sandwich there to get the pressure right to actually get that emboss. Now I've seen one or two people add their magnetic shim in between these two if you want a really deep emboss, but I found that this works perfectly fine, and this is the combination, if you go back to your instruction book, that it will give you for the Gemini machine. So again, I'm just going to pass that through the machine, and it's going to allow that folder to sort of mould the card into that beautiful sort of floral arrangement there. So we'll pop those back to one side. And again, when we have a look in here, apologies for the black because it's not the best to see, but you'll see when I start bringing it out with the gilding wax and what have you. I don't know how much we can pick up there on the, I've got a bit of a reflection. I can see what's behind me in the screen.
Give it a little
Just
more
about.
tilt. There we go.
Yeah. And then, as I say, if I flip it over, you can see, you know, there's that beautiful deboss side as well. So, you know, some people like to use that side. Absolutely fine. There's no right or wrong. But I'm going to work on this raised side now. And we're actually going to bring in, both of these products, and I'm going to do a little bit of each to show you how they both work.
Okay.
Now, my main objective today, you can just see here on the end of my finger, I was just saying to the guys, yesterday I managed to take a chunk out of the end of my finger. I was fishing for a 12-inch paper pad in my bag, and I'd got that many of them rammed in the folder that I was wrestling with it to get it out, and I think it was the corner of the paper pad, and I'm like, ow, you know how they hurt.
They're stingy.
My best objective today is not to get this cut full of gilding wax, so I'm going to try and use the other finger, because I normally use my middle finger for applying the gilding wax. So yeah, I'm going to go in with the index finger today.
Will you be able to do it?
Keep saying index finger to me, Ben, because if I get this full of gilding wax, I dread to think. So I've just taken the antique gold here, which is, just lush.
Yeah.
I just think it's like a pot of chocolate, doesn't it?
Oh, it does look like a pot
Absolutely.
of chocolate.
Don't eat it though, it's not chocolate. So yeah, I'm just going to take the tiniest little bit. You always end up with too much of this stuff, so tiny bit. And then literally on whether it's your glass mat or your craft mat or whatever you work on, just tap as if you're trying to get rid of it off your finger. So sort of blend it out a little bit. You only need the tiniest little amount. All right, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to work from the top half with the gilding wax. So I'm going to look where those raised areas are and literally just very lightly And you can always go back in and take it a little bit sort of stronger. But if you go in there from the pot onto your card, you're literally just going to get a beautiful fingerprint of gilding wax splodge on your cardstock. So yeah, just blend it out. Touch the card where it's raised.
Is it harder to do with your index finger?
Actually, it's not too bad. I don't know why I favour that finger. They always say that this one applies the least pressure. Sort of your ring finger is the one that applies the least pressure, but that feels really awkward. I normally use this one, so yeah, I'm trying really hard. The objective is to try and keep that clean, because I didn't want to stick a great big plaster over it. I thought that would look really bad. So yeah, we're going with the, keep saying index finger, Jan, index finger.
Jan, index finger, Jan. There's some good questions coming in, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which we'll do. We'll do you one now, actually, whilst you were just embossing. Sarissa says, do we need to spray the paper lightly with water before we emboss?
Now then, you don't have to, but you can.
Right.
It won't do any damage, and what that does, it sort of softens the fibre in the cardstock, so that when you emboss, you get a really nice pronounced image. But the beauty of doing that is when it dries, it almost like sets your card, so it sets everything in place, and you'll get a really nice, solid, raised image. So yes, you can. It works just as well without. You know, all I would say with that is try both ways and see which you sort of prefer.
Okay, and I guess this might follow on in that same sort of line, because Victoria says, when I try to emboss, I often get paper cracking. How can I avoid this?
Right, okay, your machine may be a little bit giddy, you know, sometimes they do, especially if it's reasonably new. They're a little bit keen, they want to do a good job for you. All I would suggest there is that you actually take one of your shims out. So maybe try taking out the magnetic shim and pass it through without. If that's not sufficient, replace the magnetic shim with a layer of cardstock, which is slightly thinner than the magnetic shim. So it's just about playing around. We can't change the pressure in the machine. That's static. So it's about changing what goes on within that plate combination. So don't be afraid. Don't add anything to it, but you can take elements away from it. And what that means is the pressure will still be applied, but you'll not get that sort of creasing and cracking. I know what you mean. I've experienced that myself.
I can always tell when you're in, Jan, because the amount of questions that come through seems to double. And people really, I think, really see you as like an oracle, you know, a real oracle of
I do
craft.
try my best for you. I don't profess to know everything.
Most things, though.
A lot of mine has been trial and error. I'm very much one of try it, and if it doesn't work, it's a bit of cardstock.
It's a great mantra to have, though, isn't it? I think so many people are so worried sometimes, I think, and they go, oh, well, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to try that because I'm worried it might go wrong.
No,
but like you said, at the end of the day,
it's just a bit of cardstock, you know, and it's pennies. When you actually look at how much a piece of cardstock uses, and you can get 2 of these out of a sheet of A4, it really is pennies. So have a go, have a play. When I get something new, so when these hit the deck and they all came in, the first thing I did was run each and every design just through a piece of cardstock to see what it looked like to start off with. And then you can test it to see whether the pressure's right. Do you need to alter those shim and make any adjustments to the shims in the Gemini setup? But, you know, just have a play. Before you go on to your nice card, don't sort of get one. I know we're all the same, we're eager. Get them out. I'm going to put this really nice piece of cardstock in it, and then it doesn't do what you want it to do and you've ruined it. So yeah, have a play first and just see how they perform, and then take it from there. So that's that top half done with the gilding wax. Okay. All right, and I'm still safe. I've still not got anything going on there, so we'll not stick the baby wipe in it either, because that's going to make me yow. Okay. And then I'm also going to come back in with the ink pad. Now, this one is what we call direct to paper, the technique, because I'm literally going to take my ink pad straight to the paper. Now, just a couple of things to be aware of. The Midas inks are on a sponge plate here. So it will depress quite easily. So again, very, very little pressure. You're almost just balancing it on the top here and then just letting it glide over those areas. If you press it down, you're literally going to get an outline of your ink pad.
Got you.
Yeah, so nice and light. I'm literally just going to let it find those areas in the embossing folder that are raised. So again, think about the edges and where the edges are here, and I'm sort of tilting it a little bit so that I can control it with that edge, and just letting it kiss against those pieces that are raised where the embossing is. And you can see we've got a slightly different colour going on there to the gilding wax, but I just think showing you both ways to get a very similar effect. So if you haven't got one or the other, you know, you can sort of have a play with them. So that literally was just taking it direct to that paper. Let's just get rid of all the elements off there then. Okay, I'm told if you have trouble with your gilding wax cleaning it off, I haven't actually tried it because I always use my stick away in the aerosol, but apparently hand sanitizer
Is that right?
cleans it all off. Yes, it's got something in it that breaks down the
And we've all got plenty of that at the minute.
wax. We certainly have, yes. Right, so that's all nice and clean. So I'm literally going to turn all these into cards for you just so that you can see a finished project. And what I've got here is one that I've just, in fact, I'm going to cut this one down because I like the two-tone effect rather than the one that I did. So let me just double check here. We've got 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So I'm just going to grab my guillotine.
Okay.
And just take this down so that it fits within that that parameter. So we'll come down to 4.5. I'm going to take a little bit off each side so that I don't cut into the actual design there.
Good question from Catherine as well. He says, do you have to do anything after using the gilding wax to set the wax permanently?
Absolutely not. I'm going to do one more thing to it before we actually put it on.
Yeah.
And that is just to buff it.
Yeah.
Literally just buff it up. Because it was initially designed for furniture.
Yes.
Yeah, it is actually quite robust. So just with a plain cloth, so I've got my old raggy cloth here. I wouldn't use kitchen paper that's got a texture to it because it tends to rub off onto the raised areas. But just a smooth cloth.
Debbie said that your cloth would make an appearance today.
Honestly.
Is it a pillowcase? It is, isn't it?
It was once in a form. I'm very up on recycling. It's
I know.
loved. I said I was going to make something out of it because it'd make a great background, wouldn't it? You never know, you might see it in a project one of these days. When it comes time to retire it, I might actually make something out of it.
And then frame it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Auction it off.
I was watching somebody the other day and she'd made like a pillow effect card that got stuffing inside, so the perfect thing.
Maybe.
There you go, you see. But yeah, just by rubbing over the top of this, it doesn't rub it off, it dries pretty much instantly. But you can see there, if I tilt this again now, how it's just brought up that sheen on there. And that is how it's intended to be used. As I say, it was originally designed for using on furniture. And then in the bottom section there, you can just see the slight gradation of colour where we've gone from the gold into the bronze. But I quite like that.
I do.
So this now should fit on my piece of mat. And this is just a piece of our metallic card. So let's just have a rummage and see if we've got a working tape pen today.
Oh, well, there's been so many of those have gone over the Sweet 16th birthday event because there've been so many demos. So I can almost guarantee at some point today you'll use one of those and it will run out.
This one's not far off, honestly.
I knew it.
I always end up running out of them when I'm up here. I don't know, I think they just wait.
Wait till you're there and then go,
this is nearly at the end already and I've only just started. Here we go. So I'm just going to mat and layer that onto a piece of that lovely bronze metallic card there. And just so that we've got a nice little border. And then I've done the same again with a piece of similar coloured cardstock. So if I just bring the rest of the layers in there, I've actually repeated this on a piece of the Centura Pearl there, so that we've almost got like that positive and negative.
Yeah.
So again, you can just see, and again, if I turn it over, you can see that gorgeous debossed, that depressed side on the other side there, which you can do some great techniques on this side. If I come back with mixed media, I'll try and show you that because you can do what they call grout it, where you pull a medium across it and it fills all the gaps in. So we'll have a look at that for another show. But again, I'm going to pop that one on that side and I'm just going to fetch some wet glue out for that one because we're going on to the black card. And as I say, I have a feeling that my tape pen's going to run out again.
Could you, sorry, there's loads, and honestly, there's so many questions coming in.
Fire them away.
Could you use metallic pens on your embossing folders, says Cheryl?
You could, yeah, you could actually use that fine nib on the metallic pen and just pick out areas. Later on, I'm actually going to use some of the watercolor markers, and we're going to do that. We're going to sort of just paint the edges, but yeah, the metallic pens would work absolutely fine. If you've got the metallic liquids in the little pots, you could use a paintbrush and use those.
And your ink pads, of course, because Rose saying, could you use ink pads for this technique?
Absolutely. We're going to come on to the coloured ink pads shortly, and I've even popped in there, I know some of you bought into the distress oxide pads that we had on recently as well. So I've done one of the demos with those as well. So I've tried to incorporate, as I say, a bit of everything.
Could you, one more question?
Yep.
Corbatel says, I'm still wondering if gilding flakes would work as well on 3D folders as gilding wax.
Not as a gilding wax, they're a product in their own right, but what you would need to do there is apply some kind of medium that your gilding flakes would stick to. So obviously gilding flakes on their own are not sticky. So what I would be using there, and it's not a product we sell, but you can get them on the internet, and it's called a quickie glue pen.
Oh yes.
Yeah. If you're close by to any of our stores, I think we stock them in the stores. I just don't think we have them on the website. But this is actually, it's a blue glue. And it's quite clever in the fact, and I think, if I remember rightly, I think Tonic make one that does a similar kind of thing. But the idea is that you can control this with the nib.
Right.
You can sort of pick out elements here, for example on this. It goes on blue and you wait for it to, it doesn't dry as such, but it turns clear. And once it's turned clear, it's tacky. So then you can go over with your gilding flakes. If you've got any of the old cold foiling system, you can use those over it and pull it off and it will stick to the tacky elements. Honestly, I could go through like hundreds of mediums that we could use on there. Absolutely. So this one's going to go on the front, and I've just done the traditional 5x7 and folded it back there. This one's going to go over the front and line up with that one in between, so that the one inside's like a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
So I only want my glue on this half here, otherwise we're going to end up with it stuck closed.
Laura says, I'm loving the questions. Honestly, Jan, I've never seen so many. I'm thinking more of protecting your finger, but I also know some people don't like getting inky or messy. Would using gloves, surgical or food grade, affect how the gilding wax rubs onto the embossed areas? So, and you've got purple.
It's even purple as well.
I knew it.
You can do this. What I tend to do, rather than using it as a whole glove, is just chop the fingers out.
Right.
Because you only need something to cover the end of your finger. So you don't necessarily need the whole glove on, and that way you get 4 goes at it, because depending which finger you fit, they'll fit in all of them. So I just chop the finger out, pop it over the end. You don't get the exact same feel for it, but you'll get the same result.
Right.
I just find with your finger, it's a product that responds to the warmth in your skin.
Yeah.
So by putting that barrier of a glove between it, you're sort of altering that a little bit, but it will work. Again, all this. What have I done now because I was talking?
Oh, well, index finger.
No, it weren't my index finger.
Oh, what have you done?
I've put glue everywhere.
Oh.
I got giddy look and I've put glue everywhere. So let me see if I can salvage that by popping a piece.
Sorry, I was looking down reading the comments.
It's all right. I forgot then. I got giddy. I found a new glue tape pen and I got giddy and went everywhere with it. Look, so let's just do a little bit of backing. There's a result. You know, you can salvage most things. They're all happy accidents. So
just when you said that what I've done now, I was looking down, I was just like, index finger, that's the thing I've got to remind Jan. Index finger? No, it wasn't that.
No, so what I'll do then is just hopefully, oh, look at that, perfect. So we're going to pop that one straight, Jan, if we can manage to get it straight. On the top there, that's it. And look, we've got, the mistake meant that we've got a nice coloured piece on the back there. Yeah. And like I said at the top of the show, you do not need to do much more than add a couple of embellishments. So I've got a nice little sentiment that I've stamped out there, and I'm just going to grab a couple of foam pads to put on there. And because we're going on to that gilding wax and the ink, I like to give the foam pads a little bit of extra insurance. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on them as well. If I was just sticking them straight onto the paper or the cardstock, they're fine. But because they're going onto a substrate that's different, I'm just going to add a little bit of that wet tacky glue there as well, just as an insurance policy. So we're going to pop that one. So I don't really want to cover it up. I'm going to put it down at the bottom where there's least sort of design. And then I was actually going to put I'm not going to put the bow on either because I don't want to cover it up. All I've got now are a few little gems which we're just going to decorate some of this area. So I'm going to pop a couple at the top there.
Do you know what I love about this though, Jan? Like you said, taking us on a crafting journey, simplistic, but really, really effective, isn't it?
It is, you know, and people sort of look at it and think, well, it looks metallic, but the card's black. And you want that sort of puzzled, how have they done that? How have they done that? So I'm just going to keep it as simple as that. Let's move some of all this out of the way so that we can have a look. And you've got that sort of, if I just tilt that again to the light, you can see that lovely sheen. We did the gilding wax at the top, so that was the antique gold in our Pebeo gilding wax range, which we've got on the show. And then this one was the Midas bronze ink pad at the bottom, which should be on the website. And then again, we've just got that sort of surprise one inside there to give you a little bit more detail inside as well.
Absolutely fantastic. 20% of the stock has already gone. It is a busy show once again. Again, something very different each and every day during our sweet 16th birthday event. We are bringing you loads and loads of different items. I love these embossing folders as well. You know, a really, really easy step into craft for you too. We've got hundreds of new people watching all the time. If you're looking for a really well, as you've seen, effective way of creating cards, beautiful backgrounds as well. Embossing folders, 3D embossing folders no less, are such an easy way for you to be able to do that. And the fact that you can use all of these different mediums, you know, your gilding waxes that we've just seen there, more that we're going to see with Jan in just a few moments time with all of your ink pads. And again, a collection like this, it's not just kind of, you know, pigeonholed into one particular area or one particular time of the year. You're going to be using these flowers all year round. And what a selection that you've got as well, from your beautiful peonies. Then we've also got, I always say gerbils here, but it's definitely not gerbils. These are definitely called gerberas. I said that on air once. It just kept, well, gerbils. And they went, you what? Are they gerbils? No, those are the little small fairy things. Yeah, these, not little fairy things. Beautiful flowers called gerberas. Well done, Ben. I don't know why I embarrass myself like that sometimes. I could have easily just carried on, but no, you have to tell the world, Ben, don't you? Roses again. And just look, by adding all of the colour in, these are almost like jumping off the page. Somebody was saying earlier on just like how amazed they are at the 3D effect that you get with these flowers and how they're almost sort of jumping through the TV screen. Loads of you love these. Kimberly's just said, oh lordy, those embossing folders have jumped in my basket and checked themselves out. Laurie says, hello everyone, I decided to pull the pin on the Ultimate Pro USB from last year, so I have the old and new on the way. Dawn just saying she's got this collection as well with that beautiful cherry blossoming. Cannot wait for mine to arrive. But I think we've covered off as well in this collection so many of your favourite florals, from your tulips there right through to the hellebores too. I mean, just gorgeous. And again, you're looking at these in all of these beautiful colours, but you can change the colours. You can use your gilding waxes, your dahlias, however you say it, and then we're back to your peonies as well. It works out basically that you're getting 25% off, so you're getting 8, but it's like you're only paying for 6 really. $13.98 or $17.90 is what you're saving. £33.55 is your platinum price, or $42.96. If you want to mix and match and make your own mini bundles, 2 for £12. Or 2 for $16 on those. Over 20% of the stock gone. Loads of you jumping in and grabbing them. Don't forget as well, you will get your free £10 $10 gift as well for spending over your £10 or $10. Something else which is proving very, very popular indeed is your 5x7 fab file, and loads of you are jumping in for this as well. You're going to get 6 of your reusable file folders included too, but the brilliant thing about these, not only great for sort of your general storage, but these will fit beautifully your brand new folders that you're getting right now. So if you're looking for, if you're one of those people that likes to kind of keep everything just so, you know, this particular collection, if you decide to yourself, right, I want to keep this in one particular fab file, then jump in and grab these on the 3 for 2. You can compartmentalize everything, get everything nice and organized, but grab these whilst you can. You know how good the Totally Tiffany ranges. These again have got a little handle on the front there, so great for traveling around with, great for just popping on the shelf, and you can even label these up. So if you are kind of saving these by range, if you like, you've got the ability to write the notes, what's what, so you know where everything is. These are flying out the door today, the 5x7s. £5.59 or $6.39. A lot of people are going, well, I'm going to get these and I want to be able to store them, so I'll get one of those. Actually, no, I won't. I'll get 3 for 2 instead. We've got loads of 3 for 2s right across the website as well. Don't forget, on your core tools, on your adhesives, on your cardstock as well. All of those things that you want to be stocking up on this time of year. Only 3 days to go of our sweet 16th birthday event. Now, I know we'll be coming on to these as well, but seeing as we're bringing you these beautiful embossing folders, we've got you a lovely selection too of your Harmony water reactive ink pads. Again, what we've done with these, seeing as we brought you a lovely collection of beautiful botanicals, beautiful florals, we've picked out some colours that we think will work absolutely beautifully. And again, you're going to see with Jan all of the different techniques that you can do with your water reactive ink pads. But if I go through them, we've got your fuchsia and your midnight. You're also going to get your pine tree. Your spring meadow is included in here with baby blue. You've got your ocean blue. It always makes me laugh, this one. Your pale fig, not pig. You've got your grasshopper. You've got honey pot. I mean, it's all your faves in here. Plum jam, sandstorm, and crushed velvet. Getting a few oohs and ahs over there. It's like a firework display. £31.60 platinum or $44. And again, the fact these are water reactive, there's so many different techniques that you can do with them. Great for your blending, and the colours are just amazing to go with this collection. So if you're looking to get the most out of your basket, if you're looking to perhaps get that next free gift, maybe you're even looking towards getting free shipping in the US, we've gone, that's a great launch, you need to grab it. Your fab file you absolutely need to store them. Then you've got your water reactive ink pads as well, so then you've got loads of different colours for your embossing folders. But then on top of that, your gilding waxes. Now I've only got 3 that you're going to get here because a little bit earlier on, Jan, I thought you were going to chuck it at me then. Oh no! Take that! You're going to get the antique that we've got over there with Jan is going to be coming your way in this collection. But we've also got your Empire Gold, your King Gold, and your Silver included in here. So these 3 plus the gilding wax that Jan's got. There it is. So
this is the one that I've just used in that first demo.
Yes.
Yep.
And it actually works out that you're getting these, you're getting the 3 golds, and we're giving you the silver for free in this deal. £28.78 or $40.78 is the platinum price, and double points. So you see how you get this, get that, get those, get these, fill up your baskets, get the free gifts, get double points. But make sure you grab these deals right now because they won't be here for long, and these embossing folders are absolutely flying out of the door too. Keep the questions coming. I love it when you ask the questions. I love it when Jan's in because you know, oh yeah, we'll get questions in. We'll answer the questions as Jan demonstrates. Facebook or YouTube, wherever you are watching us right now. So we've done our first demonstration with the beautiful gilding wax. What are we going to be using next, Jan?
We're going to go to the roses next, okay? So we're going to sort of take it on a step from where we started. I'm going to keep it fairly simple, but we're going to go to those lovely water reactive inks this time. So instead of using the gilding wax or the metallic ink as a medium, we're going to use the coloured inks this time. So I've gone for Oasis Plum Jam, which has got to be on my favourites list. Absolutely love that colour. And then I've just gone a wee bit darker than the crushed velvet. I've gone for the dark one, which is Damson Wine there. So it's just a shade darker than the crushed velvet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the turquoise in the background, and this will actually go along with the question about whether to wet the card or not first, because we're actually going to sort of wet it by default by adding a little bit of colour. So I'm just going to take my ink pad straight to that craft mat and pop a little bit down here on the mat. And then literally I've got my spritzer bottle that just has plain tap water in it, nothing fancy. Yep. And I'm just going to spritz. Now I'm working on watercolour card this time, purely because I'm going to throw things at it basically, and this will stand up to the result. You can use stamping card, it will work, but the watercolour card is actually designed for water techniques, so why not go with it? Yep. So I'm not going to do my spritz and waft today. Aww. No. Do you want me to spritz and waft first? If you didn't see this, are you ready? Are you ready, George? Are we ready? We need to spritz and waft.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, one more time.
But I actually want it a little bit more than that. So I'm just going to sort of slightly dampen it off there with the spray, and then I'm just going to take one of my chunky paintbrushes, and we're literally going to pick up some of the ink. Now anybody can do this. This is no fancy technique. I am literally just going to blob it.
Love that.
Blot it on with that
Blob
lovely
and
brush.
blot.
You know, and no skill involved.
No.
Literally pick it up off the mat. Because the card's wet, it allows that, you don't get that set sort of splodge mark. So literally, just to create that background and just dab it all over. All right, if it's getting a little bit dry, you can add a bit more water from your pot. And I just want to create some colour to work with in the background. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to blot it a little bit because I don't want it to be too wet and I don't want it to be too focused on the colour because it is a background. So just with a little bit of kitchen paper, I'm just going to, that's blotted it a bit too much there, Jan. We do need a bit of colour left. So again, we can just pick some of that one up. I got a bit giddy there. We went a little bit of colour left in it there. Okay. So as I say, where it's wet, just to give it a little tiny blot to get rid of any residue. And we can actually put this straight in to the embossing folder. We don't need to worry about it being mega dry. As long as you've not drenched it, we can literally go straight into the embossing folder with it. So again, I'm going to take that 3D folder. All right, so again, always double check. We tend to put our Gemini logo on the back. So I don't know whether you can just see through the folder there. So this tends to be on the back of it. So if you've got that underneath, you've got your folder the right way because you want that lovely raised element is going to go underneath your colour.
Yeah.
So that it pushes up through the colour. So again, we're just going to pop that into there and bring in those plates again. So if you weren't with us at the beginning of the show, just to recap that, because this is important, in order to prevent any damage to either your machine or those folders, we do need to reduce the thickness of the sandwich that we use. So one clear plate, one plastic shim, cardstock with your folder, and then use the plastic frosted shim as your top plate. So no second, I've actually taken one of the clear cutting plates out of the equation. And then that will pass nicely through your Gemini. You should never, if you get by accident the two clear plates and you sort of temporarily forget, which I have moments, I call them senior moments, you should find some resist on your machine and you should never have to force your plates in. If you're feeling some resistance on it, in that they're not going to fit in properly, it would suggest that something's not right. So just double check that sandwich. And then again, we've got that beautiful, I mean, this just on its own is gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be happy there just rubbing the turquoise ink pad back over the top there just to highlight some of it. But just look at that beautiful sculpting on it. And again, if I flick it over, you can just see how deep.
It's just as good on the reverse, isn't it?
Honestly, it's gorgeous and no right or wrong. Some people like to use this side, absolutely fine. We're going to continue to work on this side now. So I just need to bring in one of my applicators. We'll get rid of that yellow off there. And I've got a couple of clean sponges, foams there for them. And I'm going to bring in those two colours now. So I started off with the turquoise because obviously the pink and the lilac colour are all sort of same families. We'll start with the plum jam first, and I'm literally going to pop my applicator and pick up some of that ink straight from the ink pad this time.
Yeah.
So you're basically collecting that colour on your applicator. And then what we want to do is literally just always take off some of the excess, because when you've gone straight from here onto here, you're literally going to get that coloured circle on your work, and that's not easy to get rid of then.
Okay.
Take the excess off on your mat that you're working on. If you don't have a mat, bit of scrap plastic, some of the packaging, anything like that you've got lying around, and just work it in there, but you want the colour on it, but you don't want it flooded. And then again, I'm just going to feel lightly for this raised area. So literally over the top of the flower and add just that little bit of colour going on here.
Hey, by the way, if you haven't got a glass mat, for example, we have got items like that on our 3 for 2 deals across the website. All of your core sort of craft room tools, items, day-to-day things, really, if you're looking to build up a new crafty stash, if you're a new crafter and you're looking for kind of the essentials, I would say a glass mat would be right up there, Jan, wouldn't it?
I'd put that in my top 3 items. You know what's number 1. You know my magnetic stamping platform's number 1.
Yes.
This used to be number 1, but I'm afraid it got slotted down to number 2 when the magnetic platform came out. But yeah, I would say these are a must-have. They make life so much easier for a multitude of things. I mean, not only have you got all the grid pattern on it with all the sizes and everything, you can use it as a ruler, you can use it to get things centered. It's a great surface to work on. You've seen us work with the inks and the gilding waxes, and it's white clean. So yeah, you're on to a winner, really. Definitely would have it in my kit. I've got 2. As I'm greedy.
Someone else said, I wanted to say it was Debbie Fisher, but someone else said that the magnetic stamping platform was their number 1.
Yeah.
The number 1 tool as well in the craft room.
Well, you know that I'm a stamper. I love my stamping, and it just makes life so easy. You don't need that sort of cross your fingers when you stamp that it's going to work properly, because you can redo it if not. So yeah, again, I'm just getting rid of that excess ink so that I can take the applicator then straight to the flowers. I'm sorry, I've just got to reward his efforts here, because John he's in and out, and in case you're wondering, they are on the website. They're not on the show, but you'll find them on the website. He just keeps bringing them in every time I mention something. We don't, George. You got your glass mat. There's your stamping platform as well. They're on the website. We're doing 3 for 2s and a whole host of our items on our core tools as well. So I just thought I'd show them, because he's made the effort to bring them in. He's been very busy, very hardworking. He is a superstar, and that just goes to show it. I'm saying things and he's bringing them in. Ferrari, John, Ferrari. Oh, doesn't. No. Thank you very much. It was worth a try. It was worth a go, wasn't it? I don't know where he's pulling those from all of a sudden. It's like, there you go, Ben, there you go. Just a couple of questions as well, Jan, whilst we're still with you. Linda says, will these folders go through the MIDI? Yes. They will, absolutely. I did some of my prep at home using the MIDI, and I will just say for the MIDI again, just the heads up on that plate combination, you just need the folder on its own, nothing else. Yeah. All right, so you don't need your folder that comes with the MIDI, and you don't need the extra purple shim, because this is the equivalent thickness. You just need this with your cardstock in and pass that straight through the MIDI on its own. No extra folders, no extra shims, it will do the work for you. Absolutely. I do know that it's unless we've got any back in stock, I don't think we have. The MIDI is the only machine that we don't have currently in stock. Pam A says, can you tell the difference in water or regular cardstock just by looking at it? Yes, you can. I don't know whether it's easy to pick up on here, but the watercolor card has actually got a very, very slight texture to it. We'll get our George to come and zoom right up as close as you can get, George. See if we can see. I don't know whether it. Oh, you can there. Oh, yeah, it's almost like orange peel. Yeah. Yeah. So that is the difference. And the less, I know this sounds awful, but the less expensive the cardstock, the more that is apparent. So in other words, less expensive cardstock, you will get a real sort of pitted surface on it. We make ours sort of reasonably smooth with just that little bit of texture in it. It's just the way it's made. Whereas a stamping card is totally smooth, so you can tell the difference of them instantly, There's so many great questions coming through. So all I'm doing now then is I've just taken my brush and I've got water in my my pot here, and I'm literally just going to drag out some of this colour, just enhance it a little bit and just smooth it. I want it to cover all the area here where we've done that ink in, and it just sort of almost like blends it out a little bit. So again, and the other thing I'm going to add to this when we move on to the purple one. So this one's just an ordinary paintbrush. This is my number 3 paintbrush that we've got on the website here. But literally you can see where it's just sort of dragging a little bit of the colour out and highlighting it here. So again, I keep blotting it on the tissue because I don't want it to be wet. I've said this before when I've been doing this, there's a difference between a wet brush and a damp brush, a big difference. You don't want it to just get wet and splodgy and sort of lose, oops, nearly. She was about to say lose control, I nearly knocked the pot of water over then. Yeah, so literally just sort of smoothing it out a little bit, just to give that colour where we want it. And then the other thing that I love to use for this technique, it's exactly the same technique, but for the purple ones, I'm going to swap out my brush here, and I'm going to bring in my clear sparkle pen. Yeah. And I often use this as a paintbrush. So just the crystal clear overlay on the sparkle pens. Give it a good shake. All right.
Shake it to wake it, Jan.
Shake it to wake it, and then you can actually use this. So I used to make sure that it's working, in the sense that I do need to make sure that it's sort of quite wet there, and I can see that glitter coming through. So this will do exactly the same job as we've just done with the paintbrush. It will drag the paint and reactivate it. Can you see how it's pulling that colour out there?
Yeah.
But you're getting the most phenomenal sparkle in with it as well, which just gives a really nice extra effect if that's what you want on your cards.
Do you know what I'm learning from these first 2 demos, Jan, is that there's so many different mediums you can use. Honestly, to get so many different results.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I could go on forever with it. It's like I have to contain myself to sort of between 5 or 6 techniques for you, but honestly, I've not even got into mixed media with it really. So again, I'm just sort of smoothing that out, and then I'm going to bring in a third product which will again behave the same, but we've also got some of the aqua pens on the show as well. So if you haven't bought into the ink pads and you're wanting a means of colour, you can actually use the pens to apply colour as well.
Yeah.
So again, if this has picked up a little bit of colour, I can just see here there's a little, it's just discoloured on the end there. Just wipe it off on a piece of cardstock or here, and it'll come clean again, ready for next time. So it doesn't contaminate that brush. And then what I've got here is I've picked out a couple of my Spectrum Aquas in the greens, and we're just going to go for some of that leafy area in the green. So again, straight to your mat. That mat comes in handy again, just to pop a little bit of colour onto the mat there with that brush nib. I've got 2 different shades. And again, you can use your brush to do this, or you can carry on with your sparkle pen, whichever you prefer. And I'm going to use this as a paint now, as a colour medium, and we're just going to go for where those leaves are. So I'm going to add a little bit at the bottom that's quite sort of concentrated, and then clean that brush, dab it off, and then drag this colour back out again, so that you've got that sort of concentrate at the bottom there, but you're going to drag some of that to colour the rest of it in.
Imani just says, sorry, I have another question. Don't be sorry.
No, not at all.
What about cosmic shimmer polishes? Could you use these as well?
Yep, they work beautifully. So again, you've got that lovely little applicator in the top of such as the metallic polishes, the chalk polishes, the glitter kiss polish, whatever it is. You can use that in the same means that we use our sponge applicators to just literally drag it over the top. So they will work beautifully as well. Absolutely.
Those are on the show for you too.
Pardon?
I was saying those are on the show as well. We've got a selection of those, so do have a look through the show page. Just a few more comments coming through. Adriana saying, Jan, I'm loving this technique. Karen says, Jan, it's because of your encouragement and tips I've started using my stencils.
Oh, fantastic.
I didn't know why I ignored them. One of my favourite new things to do, especially in my journal. Gail says, the watercolour technique over the embossing looks quick and easy. It's very impressive.
It does. It gives you a really nice result, but again, little sort of effort, and that's what I like, you know, that wow factor of a result, but you know, minimal effort, especially if you're into batch making and things like that. And if I was doing these as a batched example, I would sort of do it in stages. So for example, I might emboss do all the backwash first on maybe say you're making half a dozen cards, then emboss them all so they're all at the same stage. Then I would work with the pink ink or your chosen colour and do that both first, and then do all 6 of them. Then go to your next colour and do it in like a sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for?
This is like
manufacturing.
Debbie Robinson
again.
You
know when you sort of have something on a
what?
You know when you're manufacturing things on the
like a
not a conveyor belt. There's another name for it, isn't there?
Is there?
What's it called?
On a roller.
You know when you're making things, you're batch making things.
Production.
Something like that. Our Georgina's saying production.
I'd say conveyor belt though.
That would work. Yeah, but so that you're not, you wouldn't sort of work on one and do all the techniques and then stop and then go on to the next one. Yeah. You would still be here at Christmas. Literally, as I say, get them all at the same level. Cut all your pieces of cardstock to size and then literally do them in stages, Get that production line going. So again, I'm not going to do much more on here. You get the idea because there's one. This one's one that I've actually taken to a little bit. You can see I've spent longer on the inks here, and I've just backed it onto some black cardstock. But you can see where we're heading with it, with those gorgeous inks on there, and that sort of just that pale aqua in the background to set it off. So we'll go with this one because this is finished and dry. So I'm just going to get rid of the ink off there again. And like I said, the mats just clean up so beautifully every time. And then literally I'm just going to pop this together. I've done the background of the card because I didn't want to spend too much time, you know, making cards as such. But I've just made a little front stepper. You can just see that mechanism there. Just use some pattern paper and some ribbon, which we've all got in our stash. And then I've made this the right size to just slot on here as a feature point. All right, so again I'm going to go back to my collal glue because we're working with the finished cardstocks there. We've got no surfaces to worry about. All right, if I was working on sort of Centura Pearl or Miri card, I do tend to use the tacky glue if I'm using a wet glue.
Assembly line.
Assembly line, that will work. That's better.
Thank you, Susan.
Yes,
thank you, May.
Assembly line, that's maybe what I was looking for. Do you know, I blame everything on my age these days, Benz, I really do. Anything that goes wrong, it's my age. Oh, not the poorly finger, Jan, don't get the glue in it.
Index finger.
Index finger, yep. Just got the little bit of the glue.
I'm terrible for that as well, though, Jan. I think it was it me and Michelle? I think we were chatting about earlier on. That's forgetting the most simplest of words.
Oh, I'm getting shocking.
Oh, I'm awful.
Absolutely shocking. I'm glad it's not just me.
Oh no.
My husband keeps saying, "Oh, it's dementia, Jan. It's dementia coming on." I'm like, "Don't say that. Don't laugh about it." Now, I'd actually done this one, but I think it's a little bit big for the card because, again, I don't want to cover up that much of the design. So what I'm going to do is open it up and put this inside. So that we can actually utilise it inside as a greeting there and just leave the front to enjoy that beautiful folder. All right, so we'll have that on the inside as the greeting for a happy birthday.
You were, of course, Maisie was just asking, you were using watercolour card.
Yep.
GSM is 300, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. You can buy it in packs of 15 sheets singularly, or I tend to prefer the watercolour pad. Spectrum Noir do a premium watercolour pad, and that cardstock is beautiful. It's a little tiny bit smoother than the ones that we sell individually. So if you like to stamp on it, it's just that little bit smoother. But yeah, I just want that embossing folder to sort of speak to you there without the sentiment covering it up. So yeah, just a little front stepper on that one and that was using the water reactive inks and the aqua pens on there as well.
I mean, what a brilliant collection already. Loads of you have told me that you bought this collection. Over 20%, heading towards 30% of the stock has now gone. Carrie just saying, I love watching these demos. I've been so confused on how to use embossing folders other than just embossing them. I love the way to be able to use colours with them. I also can't wait for the mixed media demo. Great demos from Jan. Sandra saying, I'm having a colouring coma. Jan's doing the colouring and I'm doing the coma. And Amani says, I'm hypnotised and so sold on this technique. And Mary Lee, and I agree with you on this, Mary Lee Carroll, who says, I love the chat, but I must admit that when Jan is doing a demo, a chat definitely takes a back seat. I get so engrossed in the demonstrations like you guys do, and I feel like, you know, we're picking up so many hints and tips and ideas, and that is exactly what we're here for with these amazing shows and of course these brand new collections. Now, of course, this is a brand new collection, the Botanical 3D Embossing Folder Collection, and we absolutely love this because, quite simply, this is a set of 3D embossing folders that you're going to be using not just this year, but indeed next year and the year after that and the year after that. Beautiful florals. You think about how many times you're going to use these in your craft. Just all the time, literally. Florals are so super popular. Within this collection, you're going to get your peonies. You've also got in here the beautiful gerberas. We've got all the popular ones. Roses in there too. The beautiful sunflowers 3D embossing folder. The cherry blossom also in there. You've got your tulips included as well. You've got your hellebores in there and your gorgeous dahlias. It works out that you're getting all 8 of these, but you're actually only paying for 6 if you're a platinum member, $33.55 or $42.96, and double points as well. It really is an unbelievable collection. Grab these. Grab your water reactives, grab your gilding waxes, get the fab files. I mean, are you joking me? So many of you need to check out your baskets right now, and I know you do not want to miss Jan's demos. So let's give you a couple of minutes. We'll come back with more demos. We'll also come back with a prize winner for you as well. Get checking out those baskets. It's a busy old show. We'll be back in 2.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Make light work of intricate and delicate die-cutting designs with the Pokey Tool from Crafter's Companion. An absolute essential part of any paper crafter's kit, its precise tip has been designed to release the tiniest pieces to reveal your finished results with absolute precision. And to make sure your finished project is perfect, each Pokey Tool has a rubber tip protector, so there's no risk of damaging your die-cutting design or yourself. The Crafter's Companion Pokey Tool is such an essential craft item, we've included 2 in each set, so you'll never be without one. So get your Pokey Tools while you can, check out our Crafter's Companion website and stock up.
Welcome back. As you can see, I'm over at the winners wall to announce another one of our winners, and all you had to do is comment to get into the draw. 2 prizes to give away in this show. 2 of you will go forward to Sunday, where we're going to give away the Gemini Pro. But who has won this show's first prize simply for commenting? I can tell you it is on Facebook, Patty Abbott Heard. Congratulations, Patty. Yes, round of applause for you. What number, I hear you cry? Oh, we got a low one. I thought we got rid of all the low numbers. It is a number 3.
Oh, excellent.
Number 3. You've won yourself the all occasion banners. And Patty, as I just write your name down on here, we're going to flash up on the screen the details for you where you need to email. It is prizes@crafterscompanion.com. Look at that. They say that men can't multitask. I was writing your name as I was saying the details. I mean, that is a skill. So there you go. Number 3. You're going to go into our champagne bucket. Boop. You are into the draw. I love the sound effects. You're going to go into the draw on Sunday to stand the chance of winning that Gemini Pro. And there you are, Patty. You are up. How many T's was it? 2. You're up on the board. Make sure you're tuning in on Sunday. Right, we have got lots more to show you, plenty more to show you with this collection, which is now, by the way, a third of the stock gone. I must just also point to you this collection, which is coming up tonight on Colour Me Happy. It is the Spectrum Noir collection edition. I mean, this is unbelievable. Exclusive colours. It is limited edition and it is limited stock. It's not as limited as it was, because here's the story. We had down to, I think, 5% of the stock remaining last night. We've managed to pull some more stock from elsewhere in the business. Don't ask me where. So we are now...
Somebody's not getting their order.
Right, yeah. We're still limited stock, but we're not as limited. I'll tell you, I know we've got less than 200 chances left for you to grab that collection. So if you've already bought it and you're thinking a friend might like it, or if you're thinking, oh, I've bought it, it's limited edition and eventually I'll need to get more, maybe I'll grab another set for myself. Or if you're thinking this would be great for a friend of yours who perhaps wants to find out the Spectrum Noir range or a Christmas gift, get it, because there's less than 200 of these remaining right now. £23.99, $29.56 if you're platinum, double trouble points, and we will hopefully show you those in action during Colour Me Happy with Michelle later on, if there's stock left. We must press on though, because we've only got 55 minutes left, and well, we'd like to see some more of these folders if we can.
I've got loads of demos planned. I'm hoping we can get through as many as we can, Ben. So we're going to move on to the peonies this time, and I'm going to bring in a different element to work with this time. So I'm just going to pop the folder to one side. You can use pretty much any card for this one. I've got a piece of stamping card, but it can be a piece of old card, preferably a decent weight. The stamping card's 300 GSM, so it wants to be a decent weight to take that embossing, but it could be anything underneath. And I'm actually going to cover it. Now, I think you've seen me do this previously on the mixed media shows, but I'm going to cover it with a piece of kitchen foil or aluminium foil, however you want to look at it. And all I'm going to do is literally add tape, and I'm going to put this over as much of the base of the card as I can get.
Yeah.
So if you've got a glue stick at home, they work well for this technique as well. But again, you want the whole thing to stick down as well as you can. So literally, I'm going to go both ways and just cover as much of that up as I can. All right. And then what we want to do next is crumple. I'm going to leave that to one side. I'm going to crumple the foil. Now, you want to be very gentle because it does tear easy. So rather than screwing it up in a ball and not be able to get it undone, literally just sort of scrunch it together. You want to get as many little creases and sort of crevices in it as you can. I'm sort of doing a little bit and then stretching it out again because it is quite delicate. As I say, it will tear if you get it too sort of squashed. So do a little bit and then pull it back out again until you've got all that surface covered in those gorgeous little cracks there.
Yeah.
And then you can bring it, and the cracks will stay in there even if you flatten out your piece of foil, okay? So again, it doesn't matter whether you use the shiny side or, well, that was the not shiny side, believe it or not. You tend to get one that's really sort of mirror and then one that's a little bit dull. I'm going to go for the mirror side, and I'm literally going to pop it face down, and I'm going to cover my piece of card with that foil. Okay, so literally just, and that's why you needed as much glue on there as possible to stick it down. I tend to use a glue stick at home, and then literally I'm just going to go around the edge with the tape pen to seal that down, and then turn up the edges and make sure they're nice and tight and just stick them down.
This makes me laugh because this is perfect. If you've got kids like mine in your household who, when they're making their sandwiches in the morning, always pull off too much of the aluminium foil, and you always get little bits and pieces left in the drawer. I don't know if anyone else's kids do that, but mine are always doing that. This is a great way to use up all those pieces.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like, you don't need that much. What are you doing?
So I'm just taking a little bit of a bulk out of the corners there, out of the way. All right, and then pop that down. So it doesn't have to be perfect on the back because we're going to back it on a layer to mat and layer it. All right, and then what I've got is I'm just going to take my brayer and literally give it a good, and you can see how it sort of seals all these little creases in. So I've made my background this time just by using that foil without actually adding anything else to it. Yeah. All stuck down nicely, and then we're actually going to pop this through the folder and just wait for the results with this. So again, cardstock's cut down to fit in there, so it just fits in there nicely. All right, trap it in the folder, bring those plates back in, and we're going to pass that through the Gemini, and you get the most stunning result. And you could just leave it at that. I think it's enough to just leave it as it is, but we're going to do something else to it. All right, so let's just take that out of there. And again, it's just something for you guys to try, but when we take this out of here, just look at that sort of result on here.
You are joking me.
It's
look
just,
at
and
this.
who would have thought? It just looks like a piece of metal.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a piece of, you know, foil out of your kitchen. So what it's done is it does squish a few of the creases, but you still get the lining in the metal foil. So it almost sort of ages it. It looks a bit antique. So you've got that gorgeous sculpt in there. And then what I'm going to do this time, now this is not something that we carry stock of, but I know a lot of you will have these. You need a permanent ink pad for this. It needs to sort of not stay wet, for want of a better way to put it. So I've actually brought my Stays On ink, which is made to work on things like acetate and shiny surfaces like this, and it will dry. Now it comes in black, which I use quite a bit for stamping onto acetate and vellum, things like like that where you want it to dry fairly quickly, but it also comes in a range of colours. So I'm going to use the coloured one because I've got a black. I did black first and I thought it was a little bit dark in the black. So if you've got these pads at home, you'll know that they come with a little carrier over the top because they are solvent based. The solvent will evaporate, so the little plastic piece helps to keep that ink in line. And then literally all I'm going to do again is just really gently swipe this over the top. All right, and what it's going to do, it's going to pick up areas of that embossed and just add a little bit of colour here and there. It doesn't need the whole thing colouring. You're basically almost like highlighting it. And I just think it's a great technique. It's another one of those where if you're gifting this to someone, they look at it and think, how on earth
have you done that?
Have they done that? And that's what you want with your projects. You want something that's fairly easy to do for you, you know, so that you're not spending hours and hours and hours, especially, you know, like I said, if you're batch making. I know a lot of you guys make cards out there for charities and for homes and for the forces, things like that. I've got a lot of friends that do that. So you want something that's quick, that gives like a maximum impact. So again, I'm sort of tilting my ink pad because this is a rectangular one. I'm sort of going for that corner where it's square and literally pushing that into those areas that are a little bit less embossed than the sculpting in the middle, and you just get an amazing result with it.
Can I just say as well, this technique has blown everyone's minds. I've never seen so many comments come through. Kaz saying, I've never seen this technique before. We're glued to the screen, says Terry, to see where Jan is going with this. Awesome, says May. We'll definitely try the foil. Jan, this is brilliant, says Susan. And Amani says, this is my first time seeing Jan. She's engaging, thought-provoking and fascinating to watch.
Oh, thank you very much.
I mean, seriously, that, I think that covers everything about Jan, really. Engaging, thought-provoking and fascinating. That's what I always say.
Now then, the other thing that you can use with this, because I said this was a solvent-based ink pad, it's pretty much the same as an alcohol pen. So if you've got your alcohol pens out there, which I know lots of you have, you can use the alcohol direct to the foil as well. So again, if you prefer to just pick out some of the details for definite, you can actually take those alcohol pens and literally take them straight to the foil. It will pick up the colour just the same. If you want to highlight any of it and make it a little bit stronger, you can colour directly onto the foil. I could show you loads of techniques with just the foil on its own, honestly.
A couple more questions.
Yep.
Is archival ink the same, Jan, says Susan?
I think archival ink is a little bit more oily.
Right.
So it wants to be something, as I say, that's going to dry, because if you've got any kind of ink that's got sort of oil base in it, or a lot of the coloured inks have got resin in them, it keeps them wet so that we can blend with them.
Yeah.
We can work with them. We can do all those gorgeous techniques that we've learned. For this, you want exactly the opposite. You want something that's literally going to dry quite quickly. So I would stick with the solvent-based ink pads,
Just to say as well, we've also got on the show with 35% off the Spectrum Noir blending collection. I mentioned that because that's got in there things like your blending tools, your craft mat, your mixing palette, and the brayer, which we saw Jan use a few moments ago. And Kaz says, Jan, what else is the brayer used for? I've got one, but I've not taken it out of the packaging as I don't know how to use it.
Don't get me started, honestly. I use mine a lot with mixed media. I'm going to use it later. You know, when we do the letterpress technique, we're going to use it to apply. I prefer to use this to apply my ink into the folder, and I'll tell you why when we get to that demo. But again, I use it a lot for mixed media, for applying, put rubber bands, take the roller off it and put rubber bands or string around it, and then put it in your paints and have a go with it. Somebody was asking me the other day, I don't know whether it was on air or whether it was someone that messaged me about the gel press, and I've been looking into that because that is it's a whole new level of mixed media, and this works great with your gel press as well. So the reason I've never brought it with me is because we don't sell it as a product.
Yes.
So I didn't want to create like a sort of a big demand for something that we don't sell, because that's not fair on you guys. But I might, on my next mixed media show, I might just include one demo with it. So yeah, lots of applying things. As I say, rubber bands or string round it, things like that. Wrap lace around it and then ink it, and you can transfer the pattern of the lace onto you. Loads of things.
It's on the show, as I say, 35% off with a whole host of other items too. And God's Blessing says, how do you keep foil from peeling?
It doesn't. Once it's on there, it's pretty good actually. I've never had any trouble with it peeling back off again because we stuck it down. I suppose if you scratched at it, it would come off because it is very lightweight. But, you know, I mean, I'm not going to do anything to it now. It's there, it's done. You can see I just worked on the one at home a little bit longer to enhance that colour a bit more. And then I've matted it just onto some of black card, just to, you know, to give it that matte and layer. So again, very, very quick, simple card. I've got some of our Miri card from the luxury cardstock pack. So this is the one out of the ice blue pack. And I'm going to put that layer on as a base layer. If you don't want to waste it all, you can take your centre out of here. Don't waste it if you don't want to. And then literally keep everything crossed. We'll see if we can get the backing off the paper. This is the bit that normally
takes a while. Don't jinx it, Jan. Don't jinx it.
Yeah, there we go. Look, we're on.
Yeah, easy peasy.
So this one's literally going to go onto here. Okay. Just to give it a little bit of depth. If you want to keep it flat, if it's something you're posting, keep it flat. I've popped a couple of little pearls on, and then I've just stamped tiny sentiments for this one. So again, we've got a get well soon, because I think they're so sort of refreshing, you know, sort of either a sympathy card or a get well card. Yeah. And I'm just going to pop them in a couple of places. Oops, preferably do it out the lid. And as I say, I've kept them a bit smaller this time. And just put those literally on there like so. And again, keep it nice and simple. You've got that embossing folder and that technique doing all the work there. But when we turn you that one round, you can see just those peonies there in their metallic form. Yeah?
I mean, stunning. I cannot wait. I'm not wishing away the end of the show, but I cannot wait at the end of the show when we get to line up all of Jan's makes so that you can see all of the different ways so far that Jan has shown you how to use your 3D embossing folders. I mean, it's been night and day, and then night again so far.
I'll just quickly show that black one. I did it in black to start off with, so you can see the same technique there with the black ink. I just thought it was a little bit dark for what I wanted, so it will work with any colour there. Yeah?
Wow, I mean, do you know what? After each and every demo that we're seeing, loads of you checking out your baskets. We've gone from 30% to now 40% of the stock gone. Kim on YouTube says, it's a 10 from me, Jan.
Oh, thank you.
Terry says, I'm going to try this foil technique with my 3D Christmas folders. And Chemistry and Biology says, I'm quickly becoming a lover of mixed media and wanting to try more solely because of Jan and all her wonderful techniques she shares with us all. And Patty says, oh, Patty, by the way, did you know, I don't know if you were watching, we picked you out as our winner on the show so far. Patty Abbott heard we need a Craft with Jan series for mixed media. You're getting all of the requests coming in, Jan.
Oh dear. It's time. I need to manufacture some time.
Listen, if you want to grab these now, go swiftly because I know what's going to happen here. 40% of the stock is already gone, but more of you will check out. A lot of you will check out after the show because you're all watching to see what Jan's got up her sleeve next and you don't want to miss the demonstrations. So let me just quickly remind you of the collection, which is going to bring you your beautiful peonies. You've got gerberas in here as well. And don't forget all of these beautiful 3D embossing folders already. There's the roses. You've seen so many different ways to be able to use these. I mean, how amazing was that demonstration then with the tin foil? We've seen your gilding waxes being used. We've seen your water reactives being used as well. That cherry blossom is absolutely stunning. And can you see, not only are you going to be able to do so many different things with your embossing folders, but you've got flowers for all occasions, year round as well. Those hellebores are absolutely stunning. And talking of stunning, what about these gorgeous dahlias? There is 8 folders, or there are 8 folders in the collection in total. It works out that you're only paying for 6 as a 25% saving. More than that, of course, if you are a Club Inspire Platinum member, you'll save another 20%, and that brings this down to a really, really nice price of £33.55 or $42.96. Something for everyone on our sweet 16th birthday event. And if you are, again, brand new to crafting, you're looking for really super usable crafty items, you'll not go too far wrong with these at all. And remember, if you are making your first purchase today, that price is applicable to you at the bottom of the screen. If you're going for these, you'll need somewhere to store them. Very handily, we've popped in adding one of Totally Tiffany's fab files into this show. This is the 5x7 fab file, so perfect for storing in these folders. We're also going to pop in 6 of your dividers included as well. So those come with this. People are multi-ordering this simply because it's at a brilliant low price, and also we've got it on a 3 for 2 for you as well. So if you like to keep your collections together, if you're thinking about grabbing this and just wanting to have these, in one place, all labelled up, stacked away on the shelf there, you've got the handy handle to be able to pop this off the shelf when you need it. It's a nice time to jump in and grab these. You can even label these up the top as well. 3 for 2, as I say, $6.99 or $7.99. £5.59 is your platinum price, or $6.39. These are really, really popular right now. People building up their baskets to get those free gifts, don't forget. And by the way, I must just show you the free gift that you're getting today if you're spending £10 or $10. Another beautiful embossing folder. This one here. It's got those gorgeous anemones on, 2 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches, that one, and that will automatically go into your basket when you jump in and grab the main collection today. Also, a lot of you going for those gilding waxes, I think, sort of spurred on, certainly by all of the demos that Jan's been showing you over the course of this show, wanting to recreate the demos as well. We've got your King and your Empire Golds in there. You're also going to get, I didn't go over and grab it, I had plenty of opportunity to do so, but I didn't. You're going to get your Antique Gold as well, which Jan has got perfectly modelled over the other side of the studio. There you go. That's the one that you're going to get as well. With the silver, I love that. And it works out that you get all 4 of those, but you're not actually paying for the silver within the collection. So it's you get 4, you pay for 3. £28.78 or $40.78 is the platinum price on your gilding waxes. And of course, double points for you as well. Right. Are we off for an... Oh, sorry. Sorry. They got me bending and stretching. No, I just had a bit of a moment. It's like what Jan was talking about. As you get a little bit older, Georgina, when you get to my age, there's so much information. Sometimes I just, I just wanted to quickly show you the collector's edition, which we launched last night. Officially, we got down to 5% of the stock remaining. We've managed to pull some more stock in. This is still limited stock. There isn't a green on the screen, but there is a green on the screen because we have got less than 200 opportunities left for you to buy this. It is a strictly limited edition set of Spectrum Noir markers and pens. Colours that you've not seen before. You've got a selection of the different ranges in here, from your tri-blends to your tri-blend brushes to your tricolour. We've got a tricolour metallic pen in there as well, which you haven't seen before. Glitter markers. You've got your acrylic paint markers in there as well. We'll show you this in more detail, but if you've already got Spectrum Noir pens, you won't have these colours. They're a limited edition to this collector's edition. If you love the brand, you'll get it because you want to make sure you've got this limited edition collection. If you've never used these before, you'll get them because you get a little bit of something in here, a little bit of everything to try out. And if you're looking for a Christmas gift for somebody, I mean, this is amazing. We're talking about this as being like our little, you get those Christmas chocolate selection boxes. This is our version of that, except there's no rubbish ones in there that you'll chuck away. Like the coconut ones you normally get, or the ones with the nuts and raisins in. You're not doing that. There's none of those in there. No nuts and raisins, no coconut. £23. Don't eat these. £23.99 or $29.56 is your platinum price. Less than 200 chances to buy. We will watch these. We will look at these in more detail and colour me happy later on. I'm speaking a little bit quickly because I know we want to get on with some more demonstrations because Jan is on fire today, and we certainly want more than 3 demos from you, Jan.
I've got at least 2 more that I want to fit in before the end of the show. So I'm going to speed up a bit with this one and perhaps use some of the bits that I've prepared in advance. So we're going to go sunflowers. Absolutely gorgeous. So again, same process, and this time we're going to do that letterpress technique. So we're going to take, I've got a stamping card. It would work with watercolor card just the same, but I've gone for the smooth surface this time, and we're actually going to put the ink into the folder this time. So again, I've got my water reactive inks, and I've gone for a very, very pale one because again, I only want it to be in the background. So on this particular one, we want to stay away from the raised area because this technically, if you remember, I said your cardstock went in here and it pushed up through the card.
Yeah.
If you ink this side up, you're just going to get it on the reverse of your card. So we actually want to flip, I'm going to flip it round because I'm right-handed, and you want the one that's got the most flat surface. You'll be able to feel all round here that this is actually flat. So this is going to be the bit that presses into the background. So what I'm going to do then is take my ink, and this is straw bale, which is one of the lighter in the yellow range. And again, we've got the brayer in this time. Now you can actually go straight into your folder and ink it up, but I prefer to use the brayer because it distributes the ink, in my opinion, better than just with the ink pad. What I find with the ink pad, and it maybe is just me that's too heavy, is I get the lines from the oval in here, which will transfer onto your work. So I prefer to just load up my brayer, and again, when you're doing this, you want to roll it and lift. I'm sort of spinning the brayer, because if you just do this, it's just going to ink that little bit that's rolling. So we've got that water reactive ink with the straw bale there, the lemon.
Which is in our collection.
Again, just working that roller across it to get it inked up, and it's very, very pale. So in here, we're not going to see a lot. You'll see a little bit of colour coming on the folder. It doesn't damage your folders, not in the slightest. It just wipes off. Because all the inks are water-based, or this range of ink is water-based, then it's literally just going to wipe out of here, either with a damp piece of kitchen paper or a wipe. You can spritz it with water and wipe it off with your cloth, you know, however you want to do it, but it will just clean up with water. So when we've done that, pop those to one side. And then I tend to put my cardstock in here, in this side, because the minute you lay it down, don't move it, otherwise you're going to get it smudged. So I tend to put the cardstock and line it up on the other side in the folder, and then close it. And once you've closed it, keep it together. Don't move it about so that that ink doesn't get distributed where you don't want it. Again, in that sandwich for the Gemini, pass it through there. And then I'm going to also take Friar Brown from that water reactive ink as well. And we're just going to do a little bit of blending around the edge before we add some colour. So that's my design there. And again, when I take this out, can you see how it's transferred all that ink
really
into the background? But you've got that beautiful emboss, and again, you could just leave it like that.
Right, well, why not?
That could be your card. You know, there's actually one up on the display here. If I show you this one here, pretty much what's been done there, where it's been transferred into the background. Just let that white do the talking. That might be your design. Absolutely beautiful. But again, we're going to do a little bit more to it. So just as far as the folder's concerned, because I'm on TV, I do tend to use water at home for this, but on TV, we'll just go with the wipe. You can see how that just cleans up.
Inspired Dreams has just said, when you put ink on the folder, could you use pigment or Midas ink?
Pigment ink works beautifully. The Midas ink will work. You may get a little bit of staining. You know, when you've seen us stamping and we get into the pinks and the purples, you may get a little bit of staining from some of the colours, but again, it won't damage your folder. It's all come up perfectly clean, ready for next time. You could use that on white card now and there'd be nothing come off there. So we're going to come back to this one. And again, I'm just going to take some of that Friar Brown, which is the mid brown, load up my sponge applicator, and again, get rid of that excess. You don't want sort of a fully loaded sponge let loose, otherwise you're just going to end up with ink everywhere. So again, this time I'm going to come, this is the beauty of working on your glass mat, because you've got a surface that will move the ink, and I'm going to tilt my applicator slightly rather than it be. If I go flat, I'll show you on this side, if I go flat, you'll get, you see the circles from the sponge? And they're not so easy to blend out. Whereas if you tip it slightly and just come at it from an angle, and you see how you get that lovely sort of edge. So this end of my pad isn't actually touching the cardstock. I've got it lifted slightly, so it's just the middle part of the pad that's catching it, just to get that ink in and sort of frame it and draw your eye. As if that design doesn't draw your eye well enough, you know, we'll just sort of frame it and bring it in a little bit more. So again, just to bring that round the edge, okay? And then again, I'm just going to get rid of that excess ink so that we don't get it everywhere. So you can see the rag's always in use, it never gets any time out. One after the other, okay? And then I'm going to come back in with some of those aqua markers. So you can see here, I've just chosen some colours that are very sunflowery. We've gone for gold, obvious colour for the sunflowers, and I've gone for chestnut, because the centres are usually brown. And then I've just added spice to it, which has sort of got a coral tone to it to add a bit of definition. Now again, you can go straight onto the cardstock with these. I'm going to use them with my water again. So I'll just bring the water pot in and my brush. And I'm just going to grab, whenever I'm doing this technique, I've always got a little bit of either kitchen paper or tissue to hand.
Okay.
Because like I said, you want a damp brush rather than a wet one. So just blot off some of the excess. And what I'm going to do is just take some of the water straight onto here and do so many petals at once, sort of about a quarter of it. And then I'm going to take the yellow first, throw it at the glass mat because that helps, and then add some colour onto your glass mat there. And then literally just feather this out into your design. If it gets too dark, add a bit more water and literally just feather it out into there. If it's drying, I'm drying so quick under the lights that I'm having to add a bit more water. And I'm working from the centre because I want the most concentration of colour in the edges of the petals here. Okay.
Great tip on angling the blending tool, says Teresa. Kaz says, I like how Jan shows how not to do and shows us why it's so helpful. This is like a masterclass show. Joy says, now I finally know what to do with the brayer. Glad you're on, says Ali. Jan, for more great techniques. And Peapods has just said, Jan, which side of the embossing folder did you ink again?
The flat side.
Right.
So again, just to recap it for you, where you've got the area that's raised, this bit's going to go underneath your card. So if you ink this side, you're going to get the back of it. I always say to people, if you're not sure and you can't remember, ink both sides because you can't go wrong then. It doesn't matter if there's ink on the back of it, as long as you've got it where you want it to go. So if you can't remember, ink them both up and go for it, and you'll get the result that you need on one side or the other. Okay, so again, I'm just going to finish this off, and I'm not going to do the whole thing because I've got one done, and as I say, I want to speed up a little bit because I've got another one.
Speed crafting.
Yeah, I want to try and fit in as much as I can.
Yeah.
You know, if I had time, I would have demoed all 8 of the flowers for you, but that was near on impossible, so I had to choose which ones I wanted to demo for you.
By the way, I think there's going to be a shortage of tin foil in local supermarkets because the comments of people going, I'm going to the supermarket, I'm heading to the cupboard. Lots of people want to try that tin foil demo. That
My husband will be on tea duties, bless him, while I'm crafting. He's like, Jan, where's the foil? He knows foil, but where's the rock salt gone? It's all in the craft room. I really should have a separate stash for the craft room, but he knows exactly where to come and look for it all.
Do you ever get, where's my shaving foam gone?
Yeah. Now that one I have actually got my own.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. Right, so again, you can see where we're going there, and I'm going to do exactly the same with the brown in the centre. Okay, so again, wet it first. It just helps that ink move around. Can you see when you drop it into the water? Yeah, so just wet it first, wherever you want that colour to go, and then drop your ink into it. And again, work from the middle and spin it out to the edges there. And you can see how that's actually starting to come to life. And then I just picked out the spice one, which is a very, very pale coral there.
Oh, yeah.
Really
Very pale.
It's deceiving on the end of here, because don't forget these are plastic caps.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can get as near as with the colours, but they are deceiving sometimes. But just to add a little bit, just gives you a bit of definition and allows you to do that sort of shading with your watercolour, just the same as you can with the alcohol markers. So again, just round, and I am rushing, you would spend much more time at home doing this. Now you saw me do the leaves on one of the other cards, okay, so I'm going to jump from there and literally take it to the one I've actually finished off for you. And again, just by adding much more sort of, I've not gone as deep with the yellow here because I wanted you to be able to see what I was doing here, but this one I've just sort of gone around the edges and put the spice in the middle there, and then literally adding this. And if you want a bit more depth of colour, don't forget these all play nicely. Yeah. So you can actually take some of the ink out of here as well. Yep, and you can use that straight from your brush, just the same, if you want to darken up any of this work in here. Yeah, so those work the same. So that's where we're heading to. That's what we've got when we've got a finished one. Pop everything to one side. And again, you know, your cards, you can go with any of your card designs. There are hundreds of different designs out there. Again, this time I've just sort of kept it fairly simple. I've got my cardstock, which started out life as a 6.5 inch square, but I've chopped a piece off, added a piece of detail in, and then all we're going to do is pop this one on the front again. So a little bit of that collal glue. And I've got a sentiment to go on there as well. Whoops.
There's so many lovely comments coming through. Lee just said, I'm putting a brayer in my cart right now. I've been waiting for a reason to need one. Thanks, Jan, for giving me that reason. So excited to be using it on this set. It's been one of my favourites.
Don't forget to send me your pictures,
Oh,
guys.
yes.
If you're having a go with any of these things, then I know a lot of people, sometimes you'll put them on my wall. Sometimes people send them privately. I don't mind. I love to see what you've been up to. And I will always try my best to reply to you as well. It may not be straight away, but I do actually reply to people on there. So yeah, you've got that there, and then we're literally just going to come in, and I'm just going to put this on part of that side. So I only want glue on the end there, so that we've got a little bit of overlap, not covering up too much of the design there. And then when we open, we've got that sort of, yep. So again, nice and quick.
Yeah.
I did speed through it a little bit that time because, as I say, I've got another one that I want to show you again. So that was number 4.
Yep, we're going to get to number 5 in just a second. Don't you worry. And as I say, wait, if you have just joined us halfway through, because I've seen a few people going, I've just joined, I've seen the comments. It sounds like there's been some amazing demos. There have been. Wait till you see them all at the end of the show. Cynthia's now buying the brayer. Rita says, I'm waiting for my folders to arrive so I can try this technique. Sally saying, Jan, such a wealth of knowledge. Thank you for sharing so much of yourself with us. And Cynthia Dwight said, didn't think I needed these. I was wrong. It's always the way, isn't it? It's always the way. Thank you as well to Pam, who says, yes, I've got my own stash of press and seal, which is like cling film, rock salt and foil in my crafty corner. It saves on trips to the kitchen. This collection is amazing. Let's have a look at it on the video here. You're going to get all of these beautiful embossing folders, 3D embossing folders for this unbelievable price. Over 40% of the stock has now gone. £33.55 is your platinum price, $42.96. Everybody's saving 25%, all right? So it's like you're getting all 8, but only paying for 6. Extra comes off if you're platinum, of course. Wherever you are within Club Inspire, you're going to make another saving, but double points, of course, as well on top. And of course, don't forget, when you get in this collection today, you will get your free gift, which is that beautiful anemone embossing folder too. So that will be automatically added into your basket. So some more beautiful florals to be working with all of your embossing techniques. Loads of you going for this collection, as I said, heading towards 50% of the stock gone. Loads of you also adding in your 5x7 fab file. It does come with 6 dividers for you as well. The reason why you're going for this, of course, going to work perfectly with this collection. It's all about getting organised. You can label up all of your collections, as I say. You're also going to get the dividers included in here as well, so 6 of these. But the point is, loads of you are grabbing this because it's on our 3 for 2. There's so many 3 for 2s on the website, but this is super handy to go for today. So grab it whilst we've got it. And as I say, grab these. We've got the gilding waxes, which you guys are loving. We've got the water active ink pads, which you guys are loving. Oh boy, what a busy show. We're going to pause, Jan, for a second, so you will miss nothing. Look, ready, pause. Pause. We'll come back with another demo in just a few moments' time. So now is the time to check out your baskets. You will miss nothing, and we will come back with one final demo with Jan in about 2 minutes.
It's our Sweet 16, and you're invited to join our blooming brilliant birthday celebrations.
It's a special birthday for Crafters Companion, and we're absolutely fizzing with excitement. We can't wait to celebrate with you.
From the 11th to the 24th of October, we have got sensational new launches, amazing offers and delicious crafty surprises coming your way.
You're in for a real treat on Crafters TV when a party is in full swing with live fun and amazing crafty treats every day.
There's no need to RSVP, just visit the Crafters Companion website to find out more and get ready to celebrate our sweet 16th birthday.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95 and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Yes, Georgina, I am wearing the same shirt that I am in that video. Yes, it is. It's one of my favourite shirts as well, and I don't wear it that often because, well, thank you, but everyone always goes, oh, you're wearing the same shirt. It's like, yes, I know you didn't, but anyway, moving on. Jan is so knowledgeable, says Karen. I love her demos. Kathy C says, I've just ordered just had my fab files delivered. Now to the dreaded organisation. And Deborah saying, I love to watch and listen to Jan and how she explains everything is so interesting. Thank you, Jan, for sharing your knowledge. Well, listen, if you love to hear Jan's knowledge, you're about to hear some more as we get ready for our 5th demo.
Yep, I wanted to try and get this one in because we're going to sort of move on in a couple of ways this time. So I've actually brought with me, we've not got them on the show today, but I know a couple of weeks when I was here, we brought back the Distress Oxide inks, which behave slightly differently to our Spectrum Noir range. So I've brought some of those to use as well to show you how, if you bought these on that show, they are still on the website. There's loads and loads of different colours. I just took my inspiration from this because I loved this colour combo. So I've just picked out some colours that sort of matched a little bit there, but we're going to do something totally different. So I'm going to do the base first with the inks. And again, it's a bit messy, but then that's me all over, isn't it? So these are actually, for those of you that weren't watching the show, just a quick say on these. I'm not going to spend long on them, but these are almost a combination of what we know with inks. If I grab one of our dye inks, and if we've got, just excuse me a second while I bob down here. I don't know whether I've got one or not. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I've got one. They're not the same colour, but it gives you the idea. But you get a dye-based ink, which is what our water reactives are. And then you get a pigment ink, which is what our opaque pigments are. Okay, so they both behave differently. You've seen us do lots of blending techniques with these and the colour splashes on them. These ones have that stay wetter for longer, that open time, which allows you to emboss them and things like that. Now these are unique in that they're a combination of both dye and pigment. So you're going to get different things happen with them.
Right.
And they're made to oxidize, which is where they get the name from. Okay, so I'm not going to spend an awful long time on them. I will bring them back on one of the media shows for you, but you can see how creamy they are. So again, just applying it to that mat and then wake them up with some water. And literally, I'm just going to dab elements of it up with my card here, and what I'm doing is just literally putting ink onto the background and just spreading it about, generally getting messy, what I like to do. Okay, so we've got some of the yellow one. Now again, at home I would probably go in with a second piece of card and mop some of this up rather than waste it. All right, but again, just to clean it off, they are water-based and they're made to react with water. But one of the key things with these is to dry them in between layers. If I started to go in with the next colour now, it's going to merge with what's already wet. So I've got the heat tool on.
It's a shame Johnny's not here, isn't it?
It's on.
It's his favourite thing, bless him.
And just to dry that layer off. And again, if you've got any areas that are really stubborn, that are still wet, you can always sort of take your paper towel or you know, whatever it is you've got there, just to take the excess off there. And once it's dry, we can then go in and do exactly the same with the next colour. So this one's just a slightly sort of an orangey yellow on this one. All right, again, wake it up with and you can see how you've got that sort of almost matte. And can you see here where can you see where it's actually separating here? This is the oxidization process where it goes chalky.
Yeah.
It's pushed the colour. Can you see how it's made like a rim around it? Pushed the colour out and you get that lovely chalky finish inside. So yeah, what we're going to do now then is sort of aim for the gaps. It doesn't really matter if it goes in or not, but yeah, just going for where I've got some of the white space.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of white space. You know, if you've got some white left when you've finished, absolutely fine. So again, I'm going to leave that like that. I'm going to take that away. And as I say, what I would do at home is probably have 2 or 3 pieces of cardstock at the ready, so that I can mop up that ink rather than waste it, yeah? And again, dry in between. So just to get this layer dry, any really wet bits I usually just dab off because I'm too impatient to wait for it to dry there. But you can see how we're getting those tones in there now. And then the last one is going to be more of a pinky coral shade. So again, I'm going to do exactly the same again. So less of it this time because it's a stronger colour. Just spritz it just with water, that's all it needs. And again, if you get those lines from the ink pad, just blend out the edges because you don't want those harsh angles. It will pick that up if you leave them. Again, just little bits there, and you can actually push the colour where you want it to go just by adding a little bit more water in there, yeah? So again, we'll go for a bit down this side.
It's the first time I've seen these being used.
We had them on the, I can't remember which show it was on. I know we brought them back on one of the shows when I was last here, and they did sell really well. And I know when people have bought products, I'm always sort of keen to show you what you can do with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just buying them. And I know some of us buy things and put them in our craft room. I'm guilty of that. And they're still sat there a year later. And my husband will like, what do you buy that for then?
Yeah.
It's just decoration. I like the colour. But yeah, if we can show you how to use these products, then even better.
Margaret just said, what colour inks have you used, Jan, please?
From that range, I've got Scattered Straw, which was the first one, the yellow. Wild Honey was the orangey yellow, and I love Worn Lipstick is one of my favourites, sort of a corally salmon pink.
Yeah.
That one, and we're going to use that one again over the top. So what I've done, the basis of this is to get a base to emboss now. So I've just literally popped those colours down. It doesn't matter whether it's totally dry for the embossing, but again, you can see, I just love how these behave. Again, if we just have a little look, you can see how you get that lovely sort of coloured halo.
Yeah.
But again, you get that like white chalky area where that oxidization, you see it here, look, where it's got this push the colour. So the dye part of it and the pigments pushed to the edge. Just love it. Absolute, shut up, Jan. Shut up. Waxing lyrical about the, oh, it's here.
They are lovely.
Do in our folder. So again, we're going to pop that in the folder now and emboss it. And then I'm going to come back with that ink over the top again, just to highlight.
Which flower are you using this time?
This one is the Cherry Blossom.
Cherry Blossom.
All right. So we've got the plates with that frosted shimmer as my top layer, pass it through there. And then this time I want to show you how to make your embossing folder larger, because all the cards that we've done at the minute, that 5x7 focal point of the embossing folder has determined the size of the card basically. So this time, you know, it wouldn't be a Jan show if we didn't chop something up, would it?
Not exactly right.
So this is where we've got to now. So even again, you could stop there with it if you just wanted that beautiful embossing over the background. Can see that there.
Yeah, amazing.
And if I just flip it while our George is zooming in there, you can see, just look at the depth. I just think they're beautiful. But what I'm going to do is take a sponge applicator now with that pink. And again, just load up that sponge, dab off the excess. And just like we've done with some of the other techniques, we're just going to reach over that embossed area now. And you can see how it just picks up some of the ink there, just to highlight where those flowers are. Yeah, so it behaves in just the same way as it does, you know, this could be a water reactive ink over the top, if you wish. They all play nicely together. All I would say is the applicators, if you've used them with, if you've bought the oxides, keep separate applicators, well, sponges for your oxides, because the last thing you want to do is take this kind of ink back to an ordinary, for example, that water reactive or the pigment ink there. Don't contaminate them is what I'm saying. Because this has got both inks in it, it will contaminate your other inks. So I keep a set of these purely for my oxides, and then I've got a set that I use with all the other inks together that are water-based. Okay, so again, I've just sort of highlighted some of those areas. You can see how that detail's popped out now. And then what I'm going to do is chop this into pieces to kind of stretch it. So again, I don't necessarily want all my cards to be that, you know, sort of 5x7 design. So we take the guillotine, and you can chop it up however you wish. You know, you might want to cut it into 4 equal sections and spread them out to make like a square card.
Yeah.
You might want to chop them into uneven parts. I'm going to go for that triptych look with 3 long columns.
Oh,
but
yes.
rather than cut them even, I'm going to sort of, I've got 4 3/4 inches in total. So I'm going to cut off 1 3/4, 1 5/8-ish off this side, and then spin it round and do the same off the other side. I can't remember exactly what the sizes were that I cut, but I'll show you the ones that I've actually prepared. And then keep it in its order, because you want the pattern to look the same. So it's going to run through all 3. So is that wants to be that way. So that pattern still runs through. And then if I bring in the ones that I did at home, we're pretty much on the same thing. I've just matted and layered them. Yeah, I did a better cut. I wanted these 2 slightly narrower than the central one to give like a focal point.
Yeah.
So that's all I've done, and then I've just matted and layered them onto some craft card this time and popped some foam tape on at the ready. But you can see that background there. You can see where I've highlighted it with that pink ink. You've got all those lovely splodges. These work beautifully with that splatter technique as well. So if you wanted to add a bit more interest to it, you can splatter your water on and it will take some of the layers out. So again, keeping it fairly simple. I've got my background card this time that opens at the top. But can you see how it's larger than that 5x7 folder? We're actually going to stretch it that little bit. And then these are cut to fit on here like so, with a little gap all the way around. All right. And then what I'm going to do is pop a little bit of that round, I think.
That's nice, yeah.
She says, because I've stuck the back piece down. We'll see. Yeah. So what I've done then is I've put tape on the back. Whoops. Take the tape off, and then I will always start with the outside pieces to try and get your positioning right and get your gaps sort of reasonably equal. I would always start with the outside ones and just leave that border. So I've left sort of like an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, and then skip the middle one for a second and do the same with the other side. And if ever you're doing anything like this with 3 elements or more, it's better to start with that outside, and then you can center that middle one with whatever gaps left. So again, I'm looking at that border and I'm going to leave that 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and then you can decide where this one's going to go and leave an even gap. If I'd have started at one side and then put this one down, you could have ended up with this going on. So if you start with those 2 outside pieces, it does make it easier to line them up. So just to take the backing off. Don't go and let me down at the 11th hour.
There's so many lovely comments coming through, John. We're going to get you to vote for your demo of the show in a second, but Carden says, all I can say about this is stunning. Clarice says, another stunning demo from Jan. Loving this, Jan, says Adriana. This is just an amazing lesson for me. And Claudia saying, I'm definitely going to do this and stock up on background cards, although it would be great for cutting out some of those pop-out word cards. Jean Frank says, thank you, Jan, for sharing all of these great techniques. I'm so glad I don't have to vote for the demo of the show. That's up to you at home to do it. I mean, good luck on that in a minute. Good luck.
Now, under normal circumstances, I would normally have tucked this underneath that matte layer, but I've got a bit giddy at home and stuck that down ready. So what I'm going to do is just trim it along the edge of here. I don't normally like having the raw edge of the ribbon showing. You can seal it with a naked flame, so with a lighter or something, but obviously I'm not going to try that in the studio.
Oh no, don't do that.
I'm not going to, I don't want our John running in with his fire extinguisher. There we go. So just pull that one across and leave it there. As I say, normally I would tuck it underneath there, and then again I've used that gorgeous crushed ribbon to make a bow. We're going to put that at that side like so. So again, just with the glue, because I've not got the glue gun on, otherwise I'd have put that on with the glue gun. And then I've got the tiniest little sentiment there, which is from it's a set of tags that I've got at home.
What does it say?
It says, hello friend.
Oh, hello friend.
Hello friend. So just keeping it nice and generic, because I'm going onto that fabric ribbon. Oh gosh, even my glue's gone on strike. Come on, you can do it. It's on the
Coax it out, come on.
Come on. It's handy of having, beauty of having the pin, look.
There we
Can't
go.
get away from me.
No.
There we go. So yeah, just a little tiny one. After it's just off a set of sentiments that I've got at home. I just wanted something small because I don't want to cover up any more of the detail. And then just had to make an appearance. My favourite little tiny butterfly. And I love these. I sit and make these when I've got a few minutes spare and just have them in a little pot. But this is from, if you wanted to know, it's from Caring Friends, from the Signature Collection, Signature Collection. I just think it's such a cute little embellishment just to add a bit of detail. And then I've put 3 pearls on there that I've pulled out the colour from that design, and again making it look, that illusion that it's a bigger card than just your traditional 5x7 folder. So if I turn you that one round, you can see there we've got that tent fold at the top and that detail there with the those oxide inks. So yeah, use lots of different mediums for you.
Yeah.
I've got more, but I don't think we're going to fit them in.
Well, we're not, I don't think, because we need to get your cards lined up and then we've got to pick a winner and do a little bit of a recap. So I tell you what, let's get the demos lined up, shall we? Because we ought to get voting on those, really. We've only just over 5 minutes to go.
Okie dokes.
So should we do that now?
Yep, if you want to.
All right, so here we go then. If you've missed, be prepared to be wowed here. If you've missed the show, I mean, good luck voting here. I've got no way of knowing which way you're going to go. But Jan, refresh our memories on what you've made. Right,
so top of the show then, we started out with that basic sort of black card and the gilding wax there. And we did a combination of the gilding wax and the Midas ink pad at the bottom. And then just re-embossed it inside to give you that detail. So that was number 1 at the top. Then we went on to the water reactive inks and we used a combination of water, or you can use your sparkle pen to brush that out. So that was number 2. All right, number 3 was the kitchen foil with that
that was brilliant.
Really, really sort of permanent ink on there, the stays on ink on the peonies. Number 4 were the sunflowers, where we went back to our watercolour markers and we did the letterpress technique in the background there. So that was number 4. And number 5 were those oxide inks, so inking up the background, highlighting and then chopping it up to sort of give the illusion that it's bigger than it started out. So that was number 5.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck on trying to work out which one's your favourite out of them. You can't vote for all 5, by the way, but we'll find out the winner in about 3 minutes, because we're almost to the end of the show. There's a few more comments. Tony just saying just wow. Julie saying demo of the show, difficult to choose. And Carol says Jan is always and always has been awesome. Love her demos, her instruction and her professionalism.
Thank you.
Let us find our second winner of the show. There have been so many comments coming through, so many comments, but our second winner, chosen at random for her comment on YouTube, was Rita Jackson.
Fantastic.
Congratulations, Rita. I haven't picked one out yet, Georgina. I haven't picked one out. Rita, you have got prize number 84. 8 and 4.
84.
84. 84. So I'll write your name down on here, Rita. You've won yourself a Sarah Signature Collection 6x6 paper pad. So many congratulations.
Fantastic.
Rita, you need to message us. The email address is coming up at the bottom of the screen here. Prizes at crafterscompanion.com. You're number 84. You'll get that prize. You're into our champagne bucket. You are a step closer to winning the Gemini Pro on Sunday's show. Rita Jackson, well done to you. Make sure you all tune into the wrap-up shows on Sunday, by the way, because they are going to be amazing if you've missed any of the deals over the course of our sweet 16th birthday event. And don't worry, if you've not yet won a prize, 2 more chances to win coming up a little bit later on in Colour Me Happy. I'm going to keep my eye out for the winner of the demo of the show. Just whilst I do that, let's refresh the details for you of our collection, and Jam will show you a few more finished samples. What a beautiful collection this is, Jam.
They are, and as I said, the thing I like about them best, Ben, is that they are sort of useful all year round.
Yeah.
On so many different occasions, whether it be a birthday, an anniversary, you know, even you could even get away. I just think the with sympathy cards are some of the hardest ones, I think, to design. Something like this, keeping it nice and simple, just with that sentiment on, is all you need. So lots and lots of use, and I think any product that you can use for a multitude of different occasions is a winner in my book. So again, that's those sunflowers. You know, this is the one that we did, but look how different it looks than on the the darker cardstock. So yeah, just changing them up and making them look different. And then we've got those dahlias there, done with some of that chinoiserie paper with the blue and the red. That's
stunning.
a gorgeous combination, isn't it? I love that. And then this one is meant to just stand like so on there. So you've got that facility on there. Again, same, no, that's the peonies, that one. But again, look at that with the gilding wax again. You've got that gorgeous sheen on there, keeping it monochrome, why not? And then again, back to the black and yellow, what a striking combination there. Absolutely beautiful. So again, taking it up, cutting part of it, do the spot highlight technique where you cut a bit out and replace it over the design itself. And then again, you've got those hellebores there, just done with that white and just a touch of the topaz green ink there. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, an amazing collection. We know how much you've loved it. We're heading towards half of that stock has gone. Also, you are obliterating the stock on the 5x7 of fab files as well. Those are flying out the door on a 3 for 2. Loads of you going, do you know what, I'm getting this collection that needs somewhere to store them. Get them whilst you can. They're flying out the door. 3 for 2, you'll get 6 of the little, what's the word I'm looking for? See, I'm doing it now. Thank you, Jan. Dividers included as well.
That's why we're a team, Ben.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And also, just to remind you, coming up, we've got, well, less than 200, I don't know the exact amount, but it won't be many, of your collector's edition limited stock officially. These are going to fly out the door. Make sure you get them now, and they are coming to you, hopefully, later on Colour Me Happy. What was the demo of the show, though? I hear you cry. What was the demo of the show? The demo of the show was number 5.
Oh, right. That's the oxide ink,
Very
where we
close.
stretched it, yep. Thank you very much, guys.
Jan, thank you so much. It's been brilliant to have you back, and you're back tomorrow, aren't you?
I am back tomorrow. I'm back for Play Your Crafts Right, and then I've got another launch tomorrow. All I'll say to you guys is dig out the ribbon.
Right,
I'm leaving it just there.
Oh,
Just saying.
I know the reason why as well. Thank you to Jan. Thank you for watching. Check out your baskets. Do not miss out on these deals. I'll be back with you in 2 hours' time for my final Sweet 16th birthday show with Michelle. It's Colour Me Happy coming your way in just a bit. Bye for now.